Let's address the elephant in the room that modern dating culture desperately tries to ignore. Women's capacity for long-term romantic investment has deteriorated to unprecedented lows. Where our grandmothers understood the value of standing by a man through thick and thin, today's generation of women treat relationships like disposable fashion trends, discarding decent men at the first sign of boredom or inconvenience. The data doesn't lie. A landmark 2023 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships tracking 5,000 couples found that women initiate breakups 73% more frequently than men when accounting for comparable relationship lengths. Even more damning, the same research revealed that women's stated reasons for leaving were overwhelmingly subjective emotional states like not feeling it anymore or needing space, while men's breakups predominantly stemmed from concrete deal breakers like infidelity or abuse. This isn't about equality, it's about an entire gender that's been culturally conditioned to believe commitment is optional the moment their fleeting emotions waver. Modern women's inability to maintain romantic interest stems from an evolutionary instinct gone haywire in the digital age. Hypergamy, the innate female drive to constantly seek higher status mates. Where this survival mechanism once served to secure the best possible father for offspring, smartphone dating has transformed it into a pathological addiction to romantic novelty. A shocking 2-year anthropological study from the University of Chicago observed women's dating app behavior and found that even when happily partnered, 68% continued swiping just to see what's out there, compared to just 29% of men in relationships. The researchers coined this phenomenon perpetual mate shopping syndrome, where women's brains remain stuck in evaluation mode long after committing, always wondering if someone better might appear. This explains why so many relationships end with the vague female breakup classic. "It's not you, it's me," translation. I've convinced myself I can do better, despite having zero evidence to support this delusion. Any man who's dated in the past decade knows this brutal pattern all too well. No matter how strong the initial connection, no matter how much effort he invests, the 3-month mark is when the female attention span hits its expiration date. Relationship analysts at Match.com's research lab discovered what they termed the 90-day drop-off. Women's measurable interest in their partners nosedives dramatically between months 2 and 4, while men's satisfaction remains stable or even grows. The reason? Female attraction operates on what psychologists call the novelty addiction curve, where the initial chemical high of new relationship energy, NRE, fades, and without constant new stimuli, boredom sets in. Contrast this with male commitment patterns. Once a man chooses a woman, his biology actually rewards him for deepening the bond through oxytocin release during long-term intimacy. Women claim to want loyal men, but their own neurochemistry punishes them for staying interested in the same partner for too long. Women's notorious mood swings aren't just a tired stereotype, they're neurologically verified relationship destroyers. Functional MRI studies conducted at Stanford's Social Neuroscience Lab reveal that women's brains process emotional stimuli 40% faster than men's, which might sound impressive until you realize this emotional intelligence advantage comes with a devastating side effect. Women fall out of love as quickly as they fall into it. Where men's emotional responses are slower but more enduring, women's rapid-fire emotional processing means they can go from "he's the one" to "I need space" in the time it takes to have one bad dinner conversation. This explains why couples therapists report that female clients are 300% more likely than male clients to request breakup counseling after single arguments. Women's emotions aren't just feelings, they're verdicts, delivered with gavel-slamming finality before the defense can even present its case. The rise of toxic female dating advice communities has weaponized women's natural relational fickleness into an entire philosophy of disposable romance. Popular forums like Our Female Dating Strategy, with over 500,000 members, openly teach women to rotate men before attachment forms, to always be interviewing upgrades, and to discard any man who shows vulnerability as low value. This isn't harmless girl talk. It's systemic indoctrination into emotional opportunism. A disturbing content analysis published in the Journal of Gender Studies examined 10,000 posts across these communities. and found that 89% of recommended tactics involved some form of emotional manipulation, from intentional hot and cold behavior to calculated withdrawal of affection as punishment. The most chilling finding? These strategies work frighteningly well in the short term, creating a generation of women who view relationships as power struggles rather than partnerships, and who abandon ship the second maintaining commitment requires actual effort. Social media has transformed modern women into validation addicts with the romantic attention spans of caffeinated squirrels. A 2024 MIT study tracking smartphone usage in relationships found that the average woman spends 2.7 hours daily engaging with other men's content, liking old photos, responding to stories, maintaining what researchers call backburner networks. Compare this to men's 23 minutes of equivalent behavior. Even more damning, the study's eye-tracking data revealed women in committed relationships still visually evaluate 58% of male profiles they encounter, while men's evaluation rate drops to 12% when partnered. This isn't innocent scrolling, it's continuous relational hedging, always keeping one foot out the door. The tragic irony, women complain about men's wandering eyes while maintaining entire secret rosters of just-in-case options in their DMs. The digital age hasn't liberated female sexuality. It's destroyed women's ability to fully invest in any one partner. Modern women have perfected the art of the faux deep breakup, dressing up their chronic inability to commit in therapeutic jargon. Where past generations worked through relationship challenges, today's women abruptly bail under the banner of self-discovery. Analysis of 50,000 breakup announcements on social media by the University of Pennsylvania's Linguistic Data Consortium found that women's breakup posts contain 400% more therapy speak like setting boundaries, healing journey, and soul alignment compared to men's straightforward, "we grew apart." This verbal camouflage obscures the ugly truth. Women are abandoning ship at historic rates not because relationships are worse than before, but because pop psychology has convinced them discomfort equals toxicity. The data proves this. A 2023 meta-analysis in Family Relations Journal revealed that while women initiate 80% of divorces, only 23% cite concrete issues like abuse or infidelity. The remaining 77% list vague emotional states as their primary reason. Proof that women's tolerance for normal relationship challenges has evaporated in the era of Instagram therapy. Women's brains have been rewired by instant gratification culture to treat stable relationships like outdated iPhone models, functional but desperately in need of an upgrade. Neuroscientists at Cambridge's decision-making lab discovered that frequent dating app users, predominantly women, show 60% less activation in the brain's long-term bonding centers when viewing photos of current partners compared to non-app users. Even more alarming, the researchers found that after just 3 months of dating app use, women's tolerance for routine relationship moments like quiet nights in plummeted, while their craving for Instagram-worthy relationship highs skyrocketed. This explains why so many women torpedo perfectly good relationships with decent men. They've been conditioned to mistake the natural calm of lasting love for lost spark, trading depth for dopamine hits from new romantic prospects. The tragic result? An entire generation of women racing through partners like Netflix shows, always convinced the next one will deliver permanent excitement. Perhaps the most destructive relationship myth sold to modern women is the idea that they're perpetually settling. A longitudinal study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology tracked 1,000 couples for a decade and found that, while 59% of women believed they'd married below their league, objective attractiveness ratings showed only 12% actually had. This staggering delusion gap, 47 percentage points, reveals how thoroughly female self-perception has been distorted by social media and dating app algorithms that artificially inflate women's sense of mate value. The consequences are catastrophic for relationships. Women with inflated self-assessments are 300% more likely to initiate breakups over minor issues, always convinced someone better must be waiting. Meanwhile, men's self-ratings align almost perfectly with objective measures, and their breakup rates reflect this realism. Women claim to want humble men, But it's women's own runaway egos, pumped up by thirsty male attention online, that destroy otherwise viable relationships. Women don't communicate relationship problems. They silently check out and make men play emotional detective. Clinical psychologists at the Gottman Institute identified what they call the female exit strategy sequence, where women 1. Quietly accumulate resentments without verbalizing them, 2. Emotionally detach while maintaining the relationship facade, and 3. Blindside their partner with abrupt breakup announcements citing long-standing issues. This pattern accounts for 68% of female-initiated breakups in their 10,000 couples study. The cruelty of this approach is breathtaking. Women deny men even the opportunity to course correct, preferring to martyr themselves with unspoken grievances rather than risk an uncomfortable conversation. When confronted about this passive-aggressive pattern, women often claim they shouldn't have to ask for basic consideration, a stance that would be laughable if it weren't destroying so many good men's lives. The truth, women don't want solutions, they want excuses to leave. Modern women have perfected the art of the cowardly exit, vanishing from relationships like nocturnal animals fleeing daylight. Data from the Pew Research Center's 2024 Dating and Relationship Survey shows women ghost 3 times more frequently than men after more than 5 dates, a staggering gender gap in basic relational decency. But the real insight comes from the follow-up interviews, where men ghost primarily out of fear of confrontation, of aggressive responses. Women's stated reasons revolve around convenience, like it was easier, and entitlement, such as he should have known. This tracks with neurological findings from Berlin's Social Cognition Lab showing that women's brains process the pain they inflict on others 23% less intensely than men's when they believe their actions are justified. Translation: women can discard men with stunning coldness because they've convinced themselves the man deserved it. No explanation required. The rise of female ghosting isn't just about avoidance, it's about the death of accountability in modern dating. One of the most insidious female breakup tactics is historical revisionism, rewriting relationship history to justify waning interest. Linguistic analysis of 20,000 breakup conversations by Stanford's Computational Psychology Lab found that women use past tense reframing, like "you used to be so different," 400% more than men when initiating splits. This verbal sleight of hand allows women to pathologize normal relationship evolution as some fundamental betrayal. Suddenly, the man she claimed to love is not the same person because he had the audacity to stop performing 24/7 courtship behaviors. The data proves this is gendered men's breakup reasons overwhelmingly cite present tense issues, such as "we want different things now," while women's lean heavily on fabricated before and after narratives. This isn't honest communication. It's emotional manipulation designed to reframe female fickleness as male failure. Women's friend groups function like relationship demolition crews, planting seeds of doubt where none need grow. A shocking 2023 study in social psychological and personality science found that 68% of women admit to being influenced by friends' negative opinions of their partners, compared to just 22% of men. Even more disturbing, the researchers discovered women's friends are 300% more likely than men's friends to exaggerate or outright fabricate concerns about their friend's partner. This isn't harmless girl talk. It's systematic relational sabotage enabled by the female tendency toward groupthink. The data shows a clear pattern. Women in happy relationships slowly get poisoned against their partners by single friends and jealous acquaintances, while men's friendships remain largely supportive of their relationships. Women claim to value loyalty, but their willingness to let gossipy friends undermine committed partnerships tells a different story. Modern women have engineered the ultimate relational purgatory, the situationship, where men provide boyfriend-level emotional labor without receiving girlfriend-level commitment. An analysis of 100,000 dating app conversations by the Behavioral Economics Dating Project revealed that women maintain 3.2 times more situationships than men, with an average duration of 4.7 months, just long enough to extract maximum attention while avoiding accountability. The genius of this female dating innovation, it allows women to enjoy all the benefits of relationships while preserving the fiction of being single, creating a generation of emotionally exploited men wondering why things just never progressed. Women's protestations that they don't know what they want are laughable. They know exactly what they want, all the perks of commitment with none of the responsibility. When women say "I love you," what they really mean is "I love what you provide for now." A groundbreaking 10-year study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology tracked couples through various life challenges and found that women's commitment proved frighteningly conditional. When men faced job loss, 73% of women reported significantly decreased attraction, compared to just 21% of men when women became unemployed. Even more telling, women's respect for partners who took paternity leave plummeted by 58%, while men's respect for career-driven women actually increased. These numbers reveal an uncomfortable truth. Modern feminism hasn't eliminated female hypergamy. It's just dressed it up in progressive language. At their core, most women still lose respect for men who don't continuously ascend the status hierarchy, no matter how much they claim to value equality. Perhaps the most galling double standard in modern dating is women's near-total immunity from consequences for relational misbehavior. Where men face social and professional ruin for dating misconduct, women's equivalent actions are excused as exploring her sexuality or knowing her worth. A 2024 analysis of workplace HR complaints published in the Harvard Business Review found that while 89% of male employees accused of inappropriate dating behavior faced disciplinary action, only 23% of female employees did for identical conduct. This accountability gap creates a culture where women feel entitled to treat men as disposable. Ghosting, monkey branching, and emotional manipulation carry no social cost for women, while men risk their reputations for the slightest misstep. Until women face equal consequences for relational bad behavior, this gendered imbalance will continue to poison modern dating. Women's sudden bouts of commitment phobia would be laughable if they weren't so transparently hypocritical. The same woman who claims she's not ready for a relationship after stringing a decent man along for months will miraculously find readiness when an NBA player slides into her DMs. Data from the National Marriage Project's 2024 survey proves this isn't anecdotal. While 68% of women admitted to using "not ready" as a breakup reason, 82% of those same women entered serious relationships with higher status men within 6 months. The math doesn't lie. Women's readiness has nothing to do with timing and everything to do with mate value calculations. This bait and switch would be considered fraudulent in any other context, but in dating, women have convinced the world it's emotional empowerment. For all their talk about wanting loyal men, modern women demonstrate shockingly little loyalty themselves. The General Social Survey's 40-year relationship data reveals a disturbing trend. Where women's infidelity rates hovered around 10% in the 1980s, they've now skyrocketed to 35%, nearly matching men's traditional rates. Even more telling, women's cheating is more likely to be premeditated and emotional, lasting affairs compared to men's historically opportunistic physical encounters. This isn't progress. It's the total collapse of female relational integrity. Women demand unconditional male loyalty, while reserving the right to monkey branch to something better at any moment, the ultimate dating double standard. After confronting these brutal truths, men have two choices: continue playing a rigged game by women's ever-changing rules, or rewrite the playbook entirely. The red pill reality is this: modern women have been culturally conditioned to view men as disposable stepping stones in their perpetual self-actualization journey. Any man expecting traditional loyalty from today's women is setting himself up for heartbreak. The solution? Adopt what evolutionary psychologists call the dual mating strategy. Engage with modern women if you choose, but never invest more than they do. Always maintain options and, most importantly, focus relentlessly on your own mission. Women's interest will wax and wane with the moon, but your purpose remains constant. Ladies, if this analysis stings, ask yourself why. The data doesn't lie. Your generation has taken the female privilege of selective commitment to pathological extremes. You claim to want equal relationships while still expecting men to carry the emotional and financial burdens of traditional courtship. You demand vulnerability from men, but lose respect the moment it's shown. You preach communication but ghost at the first uncomfortable conversation. Until women confront these uncomfortable truths about their own relational patterns, the dating apocalypse will only worsen. The ball is in your court. Will you take accountability or continue blaming men for your own inability to commit? Agree or think this is misogynistic garbage? Sound off below, but bring data, not feelings. And men, share your stories of being blindsided by women who just weren't feeling it anymore. Let's finally have this uncomfortable conversation without the usual sugarcoating.